In Canada, there's a growing amount of male content creators who talk about politics coming up on my For You page. And what these people are talking about, these men are specifically talking about, is younger boys getting red pilled and how this is something that we all need to be addressing. And now something I would really like all of these content creators to really just ram into their heads over and over again is the fact that you cannot convince someone who thinks that you are an object to have empathy for you. You cannot convince young boys 18 to 24 who literally don't view women as people to have empathy for them. And once again, I am witnessing men come on the internet and ask women to sacrifice their own mental health, their own bodies, in order to help change men's mind. It is not the job of the people that are being marginalized by these men to teach them how to have empathy, because we can't teach people who don't view us as people to have empathy. You are asking women to risk their physical and emotional safety because it makes it easier for you. You are the men. You have to socialize other men. You have to be the ones to teach other men. You have to have the emotional intelligence. Every single time we talk about this, we have men coming up and they're like, I don't have anyone to connect to. I don't feel safe. And every single time I look at them and go, who have you been emotionally safe for? And they go, what? I'm like, you are a man. You are the person that needs to be emotionally safe for other men. You have to be the one who can be emotionally vulnerable in order to have a place that's safe enough for other men to be emotionally vulnerable. And once again, I'm doing the emotional labor of explaining this.
Also don't help. When we talk about the alienation of the young white male and why they are turning to conservatives, it's because when they go to conservative circles, when they go to conservative influencers, when they go to conservative events, when they're surrounded by conservative people, those people don't make them feel bad for the way that they were born. And I know what you're thinking. You, as a person of color, as a woman, XYZ, you should also not have to feel bad for the way that you were born. That is correct. But we cannot be applying this, especially to young men. If it's like a 60-year-old white boomer, go nuts. Have fun. Say whatever you want. That person had 60 years to come to terms with their privilege and to try to figure out how to navigate in the world and be a better person. When you're saying it to an 18-year-old boy, they have no idea what's going on. Their brains aren't even developed. Your brain doesn't finish developing until your mid-20s. I feel empathy for the first time until I was like 26. I knew better. I knew that I was supposed to feel a certain way, act a certain way. I understood that certain things were right and certain things were wrong, but I didn't start feeling that emotion, understanding that emotion until I was a lot older.
Wild statements to be making on social media. Why do boys not have empathy until 26? Brains don't stop developing until 25 in both genders. And that is socialization. And when we talk about the socialization of boys, where are the dads? Where are the dads? Where are the emotionally vulnerable, physically present fathers? And here's the thing. This man, like, if you've always been a white man throughout the entirety of your life and you navigate the world as a white man, you have never felt the fear that a person of color feels when confronting a white person. You have never, if you're a woman, you have never felt the fear of having to confront a grown man. As a woman, I am 5'10.5". I cannot imagine being a 5'2", a 5'4", 120-30-pound girl trying to talk to a 6' something, 5'10" something man, and then trying to convince that man to have empathy for me. Wild. Then be a woman who's that height, who's a person of color. Wild. You guys don't understand that feminism has come so far because women, through the oppression of being women, have formed community. Make your own community. Do you understand? And that's where the conservatives have done a good job. They have made community for men. So you, as left-leaning creatives, progressives, all the labels you like to attach to yourself to grow followings, you need to create the community for men. Because the women have the community. We've created a community. I would just like to say, I'm getting so animated and so frustrated because of this next video. That's a man posted.
Somebody this, especially at a young age, they don't really have the understanding of how systemic oppression works and how systemic racism works. So when you tell them that they are responsible for all these other woes in the world, it obviously pushes them away. So when I come from the progressive leftist perspective, saying that we need to show empathy to young people so we don't push them into the alt-right pipeline, this is the type of comments that I'm talking about that push young men into the alt-right pipeline. Because men can't be the ones leading and teaching when they are 18 years old and don't know any better. The point of the video was about how young men need to be shown empathy so that they can learn. And instead of pushing them away, we bring them in. And what do you want to do? You want to say it's their fault and their responsibility to fix a system that they were not alive for and their ancestors might not have been part of. This is what everyone means when people say the left eats itself. And I guarantee you that you did not mean for it to come off this way. But this is how it came off. And I'm sorry that I'm getting heated here. But I'm really hoping that you understand through the emotions that I am showing you that the way that we are engaging and behaving these conversations with these young men, these 16 to 22, even 25-year-olds, pushing them away and blaming them is not going to make the problem any better. It's going to make it worse.
And this is what I mean, the progressive, the leftist, I'm a this, I'm a that. That's so cool, but you're putting on the onus on marginalized community to do the heavy lifting of converting boys and acting as if 16 to 20-year-old boys are of no danger to women. I'm white presenting. There's power in that. There's conversations that I can have that I don't risk the same as someone who is a person of color, who is visibly a person of color. I am physically taller than the average man. I've done jiu-jitsu for 6 years, and I would argue that women experiencing DV at the rates that they are is women falling on the sword of men's mental health. Because when men don't have access to mental health, what do? They become abusive, they become toxic, and they take it out on their partner. Is why the most dangerous place for a woman is in the relationship she is in. Unless it's an indigenous woman and then it's white men. Men unaliving pregnant women is the #1 unaliver for pregnant women in the United States. It's not preeclampsia, it's not complications from childbirth, it is their partner. I would argue that women have been falling on the sword. Women have been taking the brunt of men's mental health issues, and the fact that you can't see that is your privilege. Why did she stay in that abusive relationship? Why didn't she leave? She should have picked better. She should have done this. She should have done that. Women are constantly told that everything that men have done to them is their fault. Men going into conservative politics because they don't view other people as human beings is not women and marginalized communities' fault. It is the socialization of boys. It is the education system failing them. Why aren't they taught about systemic racism? Why aren't they taught about all these things? Why did you not have empathy until the age of 25? Why did it take you so long to develop that as part of your psychology? Instead of yelling at marginalized communities and women on the internet and telling them to do better, how about you put on your big boy pants, pull your fucking socks up, and do something productive as opposed to yelling at people that you feel like aren't doing enough while they're actively being targeted, marginalized, and unalived at higher rates than anyone else.